First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you'd like to into the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have and need with our real estate. We are not your financial advisors, attorney, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is Ask the Attorney with Ms. Catherine Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know. And here comes John.
Okay. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, this is I'm Lloyd Allender, and John Lee is coming on. That was Laura. Laura Lee with St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. This is the 23rd June of 2023 session. Every Friday we meet here on Zoom at 11 o'clock to do a haves and wants, what's going on. If you got something you're looking for, either a piece of real estate or a contractor, it's a good place to connect up, maybe get some recommendations from other investors. Or if you're a wholesaler, a lot of times we have wholesalers coming on that have a deal that they're looking to assign to an investor, a long-term investor, or somebody to do a flip. And we are a nonprofit, not-for-profit, so we're run by our own members. John and Laura Lee are two members that are on our board of directors. I see Amber Gray, she's our vice president. I'm the currently serving as president. I don't see any other board members here this morning, but Bruce Stotler is a former board member. And I see Stacy Lowe from Soto Properties there. She's represents one of our supporting vendors in property management. Oh, who wants to kick it off this morning? If nobody has anything to start with, I mean, I'll talk about if you were there Tuesday or either virtually or live on Tuesday, you heard Pat Heiser talking about how her approach to having the successful appeals of your real estate assessments. And I was working on mine. I told you last week I was working on mine, and I kind of went back to the drawing board after her presentation. She said she always has 3 comps, and I only had 2 on the 2 that I'm planning on appealing. I only had 2 comps, so I went back to the drawing board. And then also she looks at dollars per square foot. So when I went back to the comparable sales and looked at dollars per square foot, I actually came up with 3 better comps than the 2 that I had. So basically starting all over on my one property, and I was just getting started on my second one here this morning before we got on. So I'll continue with that this afternoon here. Hopefully I'll get it wrapped up and you can get my paperwork in to schedule my meeting with the Board of Equalization here in St. Charles County. So yeah, Stacy, you want to say something about give a pitch for what you do with Soto Property Solutions?
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, I'm Stacy Lowe. I am the business development manager at Soto Property Solutions. We are a full service property management company. So we will handle everything when it comes to your investment properties from start to finish, when finding a tenant, placing a tenant, managing the day-to-day stuff, overseeing any maintenance that needs to be done. We handle the security deposit as well. And then also at the end of the year, we would do tax preparations. You get monthly statements from us with copies of invoices. So if you're an out-of-state investor and you have properties in St. Louis and you're needing some help, feel free to reach out. I'll put my contact info in the chat, but also my email, Stacy, STACY, at SOTOPS.com. Stacy@sotops.com. And then my office line 636-305-3380. And I am extension 311. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Stacy. And we appreciate having you or David or sometimes both of you on.
Yeah, Dave's on vacation. He's in
Huh?
Louisville with his wife.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yep.
he does take a few days off. That's good.
Yep, he deserves it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, who's got anything else? Anybody else working on their tax appeals?
It looks like Anne put into the chat.
Oh,
Today
okay.
is the last day to submit a property tax appeal application for the city of St. Louis.
Oh, it is. Okay, so St. Louis is a little different. Okay, Guy. I was comparing what Pat said. Yeah,
Mhm.
the 10th of July is the last day for the St. Louis County. It's the same for St. Charles County, the second Monday of July. But apparently St. Louis has a deadline. Now, so is that for going before the Board of Equalization or some board like that, or is that for the informal one, Ann?
I think that's maybe the informal. I think that was the application. And then, like you said, there's another date for the.
Yeah.
the
Okay, so that would be, yeah, because actually St. Charles County had their deadline. I actually missed the deadline. It was the 1st of June for the informal review with somebody in the assessor's office in St. Charles County. But that's still, that does not keep me, because I didn't make that, doesn't keep me from filing for an application to get an appointment with the Board of Equalization. And I've found in the past, I've had a better luck, at least here in St. Charles County, a better luck getting a reduction from the Board of Equalization than I did with the just an informal meeting with the assessor's office. Because a lot of times you're just meeting with somebody that does the numbers, then looks at the dollars per square foot, like Pat was saying, in the assessor's office compared to comparable sales. And if yours isn't for sale and hasn't been updated for the last 20 years, hasn't had all new kitchens and bathrooms updated, just very clean and serviceable, like all my rentals are, but not putting them on the market to get top dollar. They're not gonna, should not be valued at the same. And so that's the case I'm trying to make. And it's nice. It's even nicer now. With before, it was kind of hard to find pictures of before Zillow had Zillow's like got such easy access to all anything that's ever been on the market. They keep the pictures up there, even though it's not for sale. They just say it's not currently on the market. But they got all the sales and the description of all the pictures and all the description that went with the last time it was on the market. And if it's a recent sale, it should be a pretty good source.
Hey, Lloyd, I had a question, kind of in line with the taxes information we heard about on Tuesday. So I'm trying to come up with my comparisons. And I know on Zillow is a great example where you can go on and see properties that were recently sold, but obviously you don't know what they were sold for. It just shows sold last week, sold the month before, and it shows the distance. So is there a way, or does anyone know a better way to actually get the price? Not necessarily what it was sold for, but at least what it was marketed for the sale. And I say that because in the city, everything that was talked about on Tuesday was the county. So that's where I'm struggling to get my pricing or my comparisons.
Yeah.
Properties in the city.
Okay. Now, I think one in the county is Pat pointed out, and that I've found also in St. Charles County on the assessor's database, they have the actual sale price of every time it changed hands over usually the last 4 or 5 transactions on the data page on the assessors website. And as Pat pointed out, the county and St. Charles County it also gives you has a comparable sale page. When you're looking up your property, they even give you a comparable sale, and that tells you they put together a list of parts of properties that have sold recently that are very comparable. Like when I was just doing my second one here, it's a 2-story, and they had they gave me everything that was like, I think it was like 25 2 stories. Had a comparable 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths. That so there was something comparable to look at, and then I went from there to look at the tax the Zillow to get the pictures.
Okay, yep, I'm seeing, so I did end up pulling up on the property. St. Louis City does the same thing, I guess, sales history. Okay, well, I guess that answers my question. So I'll have to go multiple places to get the information, which is fine. But at least I can, if I have a property that was sold recently, I can at least go into the city's database or on the city's, on the assessor's website, and see what it was sold for.
Yeah, you might have to go to a couple of different places. Like they may not be as well organized as St. Louis County was. In fact, St. Charles County isn't quite the same either. But it's all the same information. Similar information is all there on the county website. So.
Lloyd, I don't know that it's got a bunch of different places, but if you go to the city, since Amber's asking about that, they have a website where you can do address and property search, but that's one place at a time. And you can type in the address of a place, and usually it will say, I don't know, a couple. If you scroll down a bit, yeah, I was trying to get back there.
That's where I'm at. It's on the address and property information. Yeah, to your point, if you scroll down, it says sales history.
Right.
And at least right now, I'm looking at the past 3 sales on my current house, and it goes back to 2001.
Okay, yeah, they usually have a sales history anyway, so you can see what it's sold for. Hey, John, can you put somebody's got some inappropriate pictures and where that's coming from?
Geez, that's yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, like we were saying on Tuesday, there's depending on what county you're in or what municipality, it might be a little different. But I think Pat had a good strategy there, having 3 comps and looking at dollars per square foot, because that's a lot of it's a numbers game for the people in the assessor's office. And I'm finding that when I looked up some of the comparable sales, and I took up calculated the average dollars per square foot that they were using on the comparable sales. I look at that, mine fell in very close. I applied that number to mine, and yeah, it fell right in there. But those were recent sales and had new kitchens with granite countertops and new bathrooms and all kinds of other bells and whistles that my rentals don't have. So that's where I jumped off and said, okay, if it had all this, it might be worth that. But for these reasons, and then had some reasonable estimates. Now I have not had a contractor, bids from contractors like I'm sure they'd like to see, but I had some reasonable estimates just based on my own experience of what what a kitchen and bathroom updates cost, so. I'm hoping that'll fly. Anybody else had any trouble getting their own reasonable estimates through
In
on
the
a
chat, I added a link to the City of St. Louis assessors page with all the timelines and deadlines.
okay, thank you, Ann. Yeah, I see it there. Okay. So if you're in St. Louis City, you got a link there that Ann put up. And Dennis is asking if it was recorded. Yes, the meeting Tuesday was recorded. John, I didn't see, have we gotten a recording of that? I didn't see it on our website, at least as of yesterday. I was looking for it.
Yeah, hi Lloyd. Yeah, we do have it. It's on YouTube. I just don't have the link over there yet. I'll
Okay.
get it over there today. Usually I send them over on Fridays with this one.
Okay,
It'll be over by midnight tonight, depending on how quick they get it up. But yes, we absolutely have it recorded.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay, Dennis.
It's always best to be there in person if possible.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I know we can't all make it, but that's really
Mhm.
the nice thing we do have about technology these days.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
especially with this one, it's a very timely subject. So we got a short fuse to get take some actions on if we want to decide we want to do an appeal. Yeah, we had a good crowd there. Lars said you had around over 50. I didn't get a head count. Lars said we had over 50 folks, so that's a good showing.
Hey Lloyd, one other thing to mention that I was not aware of that I found out on Tuesday. There are companies out here who can do this for you. I will say the one that was mentioned, and I've never used them, so I won't mention their name. You can Google if you can find it. They are no longer taking on applicants for this year. So if your property falls in the assessment period for next year, you can get in with them now, but they're no longer taking on anyone for 2023.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I imagine I'm not too surprised. It's getting too close. They're all tied up. They got their workload for everybody. Got their hands tied up doing the appeals because it's just right in the middle of the informal sessions and coming up on the Board of Equalization appeals. So they have a lot of paperwork to do too. And even then, I'm glad. Was it Dwayne mentioned the company, and yeah, in fact they were one of our sponsors in the past, but for some reason I think they've got so many clients already they didn't need any additional advertising. But you do have to share your savings. What savings they get for you, they take half of it because the reassessment happens every 2 years, so they take half of your assessment for each of those 2 years that their period that their appeal applied to. So, and it is good that once you do an appeal, though, it does carry over even the benefits, even though they might get reassessed. I've found from my past experience that the benefits carry over past those 2 years, because I've got some that I have protested or appealed in the past that I did not get hit nearly as hard as the ones that I have never appealed, or it's been 10 years since I did an appeal on this property. So that's why I'm going back to one that I did 10 or 12 years ago now, and one that I acquired in 2016, 7 years ago, and that I've never done an appeal on. So I probably should have, but I'm definitely doing it now. Okay, anybody else got anything on another topic? Or anything more on on assessment appeals. Well, I suppose if we don't, we'll wrap it up for today. Nobody has anything else?
Lauren, I do have a question. Amber, shut up. Amber, shut up. Amber, shut up.
Okay, somebody's got a. Ann, did you have a question? Go ahead.
Yes, someone called and asked if I knew anyone that is renting a house or an apartment that's in the North County area. She's looking for something for rent. So I don't know if anyone on this call will have something for rent up there.
Okay,
And
yeah, I do recall.
Soto I know we have properties that are coming soon. In like North County, Ferguson, Forson area. So I'll put our website in the chat. It's also just sotopropertysolutions.com. And then there's a tab for rentals. We might have something coming up. I'm not in the day-to-day stuff with showing the rentals, but if you want to have them, just check out our website periodically. We post them on there as soon as they're ready.
Oh, great. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's a good reference. And anybody else got any rentals in North County that might be coming up?
Also tell them to make sure they're looking if it's in St. Louis or Cape Girardeau, because we have properties in both. So just pay attention to the city.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to have a condo in St. Charles coming up in July. Coming vacant in July. So if anybody knows anyone looking for a condo, you can send them my way. And oh, I see Melody put something up here. Oh yeah, she started selling. She had a couple properties for sale in Jennings. She still got the one in Jennings, 35,000, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath in Jennings.
Yep, I'm putting my 2 back up there in case anyone's interested. I think we've got an offer or 2 that are coming in, but I haven't seen them yet. I thought I'd still throw it up there. In
Okay.
case anyone's looking for something. The one, I think Jennings, I'm not sure if that's the location that Ann was talking about, if that's somewhere near where you're looking.
Yeah,
This was a
North
rental.
County.
Yeah, this is a rental, and it's been recently vacated, and I think it's move-in ready. The only thing it could use is a coat of paint. But it is for sale.
Okay. Another one in the city there. 35,000 each. Okay. Hey, I see Laura Lenington came on here. You got anything for us today, Laura? You usually got some kind of deal going.
Nothing for here, nothing to advertise, but I do have a request for resources.
Okay.
So I feel like I've probably heard other people ask about this before, but apparently I own water heaters that were not installed with a permit from the last owner who owned the building. So can you guys hear me okay, by the way?
Yes, I
Okay,
can.
great. All right, well, my headphones are dying right now, but so we're trying to find a plumber who will obviously help us with this, help us get the permit, do whatever there may need to be done for the water heaters, and then get it signed off on. But the plumbers that we're talking to are saying they're not giving us a quote beforehand. They're saying we charge this much an hour. We can't tell you what it's going to cost. We'll just have to see how it goes. And I'd really like to have some sort of a quote or an idea. And so does anybody have anybody they want to recommend or any advice or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been using Trio Plumbing. I think I mentioned them before. They do all the water heater installations for Lowe's. And I think somebody said they also do them for Home Depot too. So they got some specialists that do nothing but water heater. I've seen their truck going around the neighborhood with a bunch of water heaters in the morning and a bunch of old water heaters driving around in the afternoon after they put the new ones in. Now whether they and I've had Trio do other work for just send a plumber out to do other work when they weren't installing something, and they're pretty reasonable. I don't.
Okay, and how do you spell that? Trio?
Trio, Trio.
Okay, got that. All right, thank you. And Amber, I got a text from Amber. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Cool. Okay, well, that's kind of what I tuned in for today. Another tab, and this is just a reflection of me being somewhat lazy. I actually tuned in to the meeting on whatever day it was this past week, where Pat was presenting about the appealing the taxes, because that's something that I'm looking at doing for my 11 unit as well. I was there for a while, but I couldn't stay the whole time, was planning on watching the playback. But what I did see appeared to apply to like residential single family homes only. Because when I went to try to recreate what she was doing in my multifamily tax record, I wasn't seeing the same options. Did she go into anything about multifamily or?
No, she did not. Because they don't, Heisers don't do any. They're all single family.
Okay, so her
residents.
like her strategy wouldn't necessarily apply to my building, is what I'm seeing.
I think the strategy might, although there may come into play more of a factor of income and expenses. What the rentals are there on an income, definitely a multifamily is an income producing property.
Yeah. Okay.
They may use a different formula.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we have an appraisal from earlier this year, and they've still got us at way higher. So
well,
I would hope an appraisal would.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. If you've already got an appraisal from this year.
Yeah.
That would be definitely something to take out.
Okay.
I said earlier we were talking about the appeals, and I haven't not gotten any appraisals on mine, but yeah, that's probably the best thing if you had an actual certified appraiser, and you get an appraisal in hand. I definitely go to apply for a deal, and you probably wouldn't have to do any other comps too if you had an appraisal.
Okay, well, that's helpful. I guess this will be my first time dealing with this, and it's a significant number for us. And so I don't want to mess it up. And I reached out to Par Residential, but they haven't gotten back to me, and I don't even know if they're taking clients right now.
Well, no, that's what Amber just said. They're not. She checked, and they're not taking any more. It's too late in the process for next. For the next year. Next year's assessment.
I'm
you can
on
get
my
in
own,
line,
I guess.
but they got their hands full for this season.
Okay. All right. Well, those are the things that were on my mind, so I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay, and thank you. I see. I'll check the chat.
There you go. Yeah, Dole Heating. Yeah, somebody, Christopher probably has recommended them before. I remember seeing their name.
Okay, awesome.
Right.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it, everybody.
Okay, thanks for coming on. Okay. Anybody else have anything for us?
Hey, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to kind of mention, it is kind of funny with this only the second time we had a couple of trolls buzzing in today. So we'll find out who they are and ban those guys. I don't know.
Okay.
There's somebody I think trying to sneak in right now. So, but yeah, no, we got a good group here. I just wanted to say that I just got back from a meeting that was from in St. Louis here with some you may have remembered Peter Hoffman from couple months ago, him and Tony Gillespie Smith came out to our group and talked about some of the vacant properties in St. Louis. And I met with some attorneys today, some architects and some developers, and we're going to have more coming on there. As you know, we kind of talked about a bus tour before to look at some of these. So we're going to get a scope of what's been done and what they're looking at, because there's quite a difference. I don't know if you remember our meeting, but there's quite a difference in the neighborhoods from block to block in some of them. And there's a lot of good things going on, a lot of positive things. There's a lot of challenges also. But as of like this morning, there's something like 22,000 vacant properties in St. Louis City alone, and 10,000 have buildings on them. Now, that's not to say they can all be rehabbed, but a lot of them can. And so we're going to be having more information on that really in the next couple of months. We're anticipating our schedule is a bus tour sometime in September. So we'll have more coming up on that. And if anybody wants to know anything more about that, you can feel free to reach out to me. But we're looking at some case studies. I just got some information from them where I can look and see what's been done and what's what's available. So if anybody has any thoughts on that, I'd be happy to listen to it and connect you guys. So anyway, that's about all I have to say. I don't really have anything new other than that. So that's it for me.
Okay, no, thank you for giving us an update on it. So nobody else has anything else. I think we can wrap it up here today. Had some good discussions about our tax assessments and doing an appeal here. Hopefully everybody got their questions answered about that, the deadlines and everything, and in your location. I thank Ann for putting up the link to the website for the city's deadlines for doing all that. But still haven't passed the deadline for taking your case to the Board of Equalization. So hopefully if you got plans to do it, go ahead and I'd encourage you to go ahead and get your numbers together. And even if it's not everything that like as good a package as Pat Heiser puts together, there's still I'm sure the board will still listen to you and might take your case. You just make a good case, the best one you can. But I have been told in the assessor's office that they get a lot of people who just come and say, I just can't afford it. It just goes up too much. That's not going to get you anywhere. You have to have some numbers and some data to back up why you think the value is different. And best thing is having pictures of years and recent ones that are recently sold and showing the difference. So I wish you good luck with everybody. I'm going to get back on mine this afternoon and hopefully finish up my second package. I'll let it sit another day or so. Probably on Monday I'll go try to get it go file it with to get my appointment set with the Board of Equalization. So good luck to everybody that's doing it, and hope to see you here next week. The 30th of June back here next week, or on the third Friday or at the Schreiner Center, got another live program, or on the July 11th is our next networking breakfast. That's always the second Tuesday at the Shack in Creve Coeur. So hope to see you then. Until then, take care.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Hey, you take care. You too.